You're the CEO of a mining corporation competing for control over critical resources. Metals have never been in greater demand. Markets fluctuate, and an unforgiving mining fever roars louder than ever. The game of resources is set across the continents of Africa and Europe, divided into 8 regions and 24 territories, each with its own unique traits. This is your corporate dashboard, your headquarters. Here, you manage your mining permits, assets, and develop your strategy. The lower slots are reserved for the territories in which you operate, while the upper ones are goods, services, and authorizations you need to set up to upgrade your supply chain. On the right, your character guide. Think of it as an executive summary, outlining the investment opportunities and choices that will allow you to outperform your competitors. If you look closer to better understand how your corporation operates, you will realize they use their influence and connections to gain preferential lanes over goods and services. That's reflected in its market advantage, and it is found along with market forecasts about costs and benefits of certain investments. On the other side, this guide outlines your action plan and the core mechanics of your business operations, turn phases, asset benefits, and tactical effects, helping you navigate complex strategic decisions without consulting large manuals. The entire game mechanism unfolds through 4 operational phases: extraction, strategy, development, and finally, reward. This turn structure mirrors the real-world cycle of a running mining operation, from securing mining concessions through fierce auctions to resource extraction and high-stakes decision-making, or reinvesting in assets and infrastructure. Each phase brings you closer to supremacy. You will find out how each move counts, and wasting no time can put you ahead of your competitors. But before diving into this process, let's see how the game begins. All corporations enter the market with an initial capital and preset development opportunities, ready for whatever it takes to gain control. For you, as ARDEVUR commodities, that means 32 million #coins, 2 territory cards, a pair of development cards that include your trained workforce, and a road for logistics, plus an action card, the ace, up your sleeve. Your entry as a feared competitor is known to everyone else on the market. Now that all corporations are equipped and ready, let's get back to your character guide. Here are summarized the 4 core game phases, each representing a critical stage in your quest for supremacy. Just like in real-world mining, your corporation needs to tap into its reserves to harvest valuable resources. As you grow and develop, you'll become able to operate a network of active mines at a regular frequency, pulling raw materials from the ground and preparing them for the market. Once extracted, resources are stored. However, storage capacity is initially limited. Just like in the real world, in the game, you must invest and integrate your supply chain, building facilities such as a port warehouse. With your resources safely stored, you can now move to the critical phase of strategy. Now, we enter the strategy phase, where delicate corporate decisions shape your trajectory. As CEO, this is where you assess your company's position and plan ahead for your next moves. You can choose between 3 strategic options: to program the setup or expansion of your structures by picking 2 development cards, to acquire the phone call card for special privileges, or to move in the shadows by picking a covered action card. These choices aren't just tactical, but shall determine how efficiently you carry on. Looking at ARDEVUR's current standing, you're holding an active mine and an unexplored territory. That alone won't secure supremacy. The smart play here is to acquire 2 development cards from the market. When exploring a new mining permit, your unique market advantage will show its worth. ARDEVUR's connections allow you to bypass licensing requirements, a critical edge at this development stage. Proceed to acquire the geologist and machinery development cards. With the workforce and road cards already in hand, you're ready to explore your new territory. As indicated in the upper left corner of your territory card, performing an exploration study requires an investment of 6 million #coins. This marks the beginning of the process. There's still work, money, and time left to put in before you can begin exploiting your mine. Mining investments are for the long run. They take time, require capital, and demand serious groundwork. Place the exploration marker in your new territory, signaling that it's under development. Before ending this phase, you still have a chance to gain something back. Now that you've just spent 6 million #coins, you're going to need additional capital to enact your future plans. Being it an effortless operation, you can still liquidate your current stock of minerals within the same turn, selling locally at half their market price, instead of waiting for your next development phase to make a risky and complex global sale. Your active mine produced 14 units of resources in the form of tokens. That's roughly 14 million #coins in market value. By selling them locally, you avoid market fluctuations and ensure a swift rotation of your cash flow. However, suppose you hadn't used your development phase to explore your mine and decided instead to make a full sale. That would expose you to unpredictable market fluctuations. To determine your final revenue, roll the dice. You rolled a 64, quite a lucky roll. With market conditions in your favor, you can now double your revenue from 14 to 28 million #coins. Once the development phase is concluded, it's time to explore your rewards. A quick scan of the target grid reveals a strategic target that stands out as its description matches your recent accomplishments. Since you doubled your sale revenue, you match the conditions on a card called Lucky Day, earning you 2 supremacy points. And just like that, you've taken your first step toward mining supremacy. You'll keep building your supply chain, expanding your reach across different regions, upgrading your assets, and reaching your strategic goals until the strongest corporation declares total control.